some more comparative religion today. Last year we talked about Christianity in India. Well, what about China? Danny, if Christianity is true, why would God abandon China?
You know he didn't. There are about 100 million very brave Christians in China today.
But that's a small percentage of the population. The People's Republic of China is officially an atheist state.
It's also officially a republic.
Fair enough, but as far as religion goes, there are more Buddhists and Taoists there than Christians.
True, but even those religions combined only make up about 25% of the population. It seems that many Chinese people still practice some form of ancient folk religion, and while practices vary, at least some of them seem to retain a belief in one god.
Examples, please.
The Chinese word Shangdi means supreme deity, heavenly ruler, or highest deity. Earliest references to this being were found on oracle bone inscriptions from the 2nd millennium BC. The central display on the Temple of Heaven in Beijing, there's an inscription that simply reads Shangdi, and annual sacrifices of an unblemished bull or a beautiful sheep were made to Shangdi for 4,000 years.
So you'd argue that there's more than a coincidental connection between Shangdi and the creator god of the Bible.
Yes, I'd argue for a common ancient source, which coincides nicely with the biblical account of history.
Fascinating, but if anything, this sounds like Judaism.
Christians believe Christianity is the fulfillment of Judaism.
Okay, but when does Christianity in China come into play? When Europeans decide they need to proselytize or perhaps trade for tea and silk?
Nice. Christianity reached China nearly 1,400 years ago. The Nestorian Stele, a Chinese monument from 781 AD, relates the early Christian history in China, including the arrival of the Assyrian Christian missionary Alopan in 635 AD. It calls Christianity the illustrious religion. It affirms the Trinity, the Messiah, the virgin birth, calls God the unchangeably true and invisible who existed throughout all eternity without origin. That sounds like Shangdi. Rather than some interloping European religion, Chinese missionaries through the years have found that they were preaching a fulfillment of ancient Chinese beliefs and practices that extend back to the earliest days of humanity. Right now it looks like your forehead is extending back to the earliest days of humanity.
Your own translation and the Nestorian Stele due next week in detention for calling my forehead a shiny artifact.